Tonight, how DNA technology is helping detectives solve old cases and identify victims of crime on the Suncoast. Plus, after thousands of sex assault cases across the state and the country, a local congressman is calling on congressional leaders to renew a federal law. And an update on a proposed law that would make it daylight saving time year-round in Florida. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 5.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Jacqueline has the evening off. Topping our news, new DNA technology used to solve an almost 20-year-old murder case is now being used in other cold cases as well. 47-year-old Deborah Dalzell was sexually battered, beaten, and murdered in her Sarasota home back in 1999. New DNA technology led deputies to this man, 39-year-old Luke Fleming. He's now charged with Dalzell's murder and was arrested Sunday night in Ellenton. That same DNA technology is being used by other Suncoast law enforcement agencies to not only solve decades-old cold cases, but also identify victims. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from the Sarasota Police Department tonight to explain. Jess?
Scott, Sarasota Police Department has 26 cold case homicides that detectives are trying to solve. One case in particular that's 3 decades old could soon be closed thanks to new DNA technology.
Persevere, don't lose hope, keep going.
It's a message to families of murder victims whose killers still walk the streets. Peggy Thistle knows the feeling better than anyone. She waited 19 years for justice for her sister, Deborah Dalzell.
The many employees who have worked on this case, we can never thank you enough.
The advancements in DNA technology are cracking cases across the world wide open. Cases that without it would be cold. Captain Jonathan Todd and his team of detectives at Sarasota Police Department are constantly sending away DNA samples to labs in hopes of a breakthrough like the Sarasota Sheriff's Office had.
We're currently actively investigating a 30-year-old homicide case where we've utilized some of the recent innovations in DNA technology to potentially identify a suspect in that case.
Captain Todd won't reveal which case that is, an effort to prevent possibly jeopardizing the investigation. It isn't often, he says, that DNA was collected from cases so dated.
Well, we have the evidence that, obviously was taken from the original crime scenes. And you hope that, the detectives and crime scene technicians at that time had the forethought to collect as much as they could. Obviously, they had no idea, I'm sure, how far DNA technology, probably didn't even know what DNA was.
In some cases, like this 30-year-old homicide case, detectives are able to go back and comb through the evidence and try to get DNA from it.
These cases are labeled as being cold case homicides, but they're being actively worked. Each one of my detectives has several cold cases assigned that they go back through routinely and look, and they're constantly trying to find evidence, old evidence, that we're able to use new technology to try to identify suspects in these cases.
I talked to the command staff at Northport Police Department as well today. They said they were inspired after the arrest in the Deborah Dalzell case and that they're going to look into this new DNA technology to identify victims. They say they have some bones from a serial killer case, Daniel Conahan, back in the 1990s, and they have some of those victims' bones that they're hoping to be able to identify and give their families closure. Reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you so much. An update now on a father and son charged with child neglect in Sarasota. Last month, Paul Houle and Paul Houle III were allegedly passed out drunk in the front seat of a car that was parked directly in the sun. Police say a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old were found unresponsive in the back seat. Those children did later recover, but the 2 men are scheduled to be arraigned in court tomorrow. The son has pleaded not guilty, and the father's attorney filed a waiver of arraignment, so neither will appear in court. A Fort Myers man is behind bars after police say he set a woman on fire, leaving her in critical condition. Police arresting 39-year-old Terry Palmer and charging him with arson and arson causing great bodily harm. The victim's daughter told investigators Palmer and the woman were in an argument. Police say Palmer left and returned with flammable liquid to try to set the woman's house on fire. Officials say he also managed to set himself and the victim on fire. The victim was taken to a Tampa burn unit. Congressman Vern Buchanan is calling on leaders to reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act before it expires at the end of the month. The act became law 2 decades ago to provide grants for counseling, battered women's shelters, and domestic violence hotlines. More than 100,000 cases of domestic violence were reported in Florida last year alone. In a letter to the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, Buchanan called the bill, quote, the cornerstone of our protections against domestic and sexual violence. Right now, it's not safe to swim on a Longboat Key beach. Sarasota County health officials issuing a no-swim advisory because of harmful bacteria levels in the water. The beach is still open, but swimming and other water activities are not recommended. The health department will get another round of test results back tomorrow. Let's get a check now on our first alert weather now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Hi, Bob.
It's got to be nice to jump into a pool right now, or even in the Gulf of Mexico if you could, because it is hot. It's staying hot too. It's not going away despite the fact that fall is just a couple of days away. Summer-like conditions are expected. With an east wind, we always have a tendency to warm up a little bit more. It delays the sea breeze, and that would mean that we could see near record high temperatures for tomorrow. Again, the sea stayed not all that impressive as a result of the light west wind sea breeze that has developed. Get a look at these temperatures now. 91, it feels like 99. That's actually cooled down a little bit. It was 93 just about a half hour ago. The winds are calm, so that means that sea breeze has gotten knocked down a little bit. We're going to have a convergence set up. As far as temperatures go, in the low 90s now near the coast, upper 80s in some areas, 92 in Mayaca City, 90 in Arcadia. You factor in that humidity, 102 in Mayaca City, 99 downtown Sarasota, Northport, you're at 95, a little bit cooler there. Water temperature now 87 degrees. Well, let's get a look at the rainfall, and you can see these storms are marching off from the east to the west, a pretty good east wind. We have one round near us, another one well to the east of us, so we'll keep an eye on that into Arcadia and Wauchula here coming up. But these are the storms that will start to fire up. With that sea breeze pinned right near the coast, there's a good chance we'll see a little bit more activity like we're seeing near just to the east of Northport. So Northport, get ready for some pretty heavy rain, some lightning, and the potential for some gusty winds. Same goes true near Lakewood Ranch. We'll also take a look at the remnants of what was Florence, maybe making a comeback in the Atlantic a little bit later. Scott, back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. The law that would make it daylight saving time year-round in Florida is on hold in Congress. Earlier this year, Florida lawmakers passed the Sunshine Protection Act, but so far the required congressional approval that's needed to make it happen is in a holding pattern. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio has filed 2 bills to make the change permanent. We checked in with Senator Rubio's office today, and a communications director says the bills have been referred to the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, where they have yet to be discussed. The next step is moving those bills through that committee, and then Rubio's office hopes to gain some momentum in November when it starts getting dark early once again. A 22-year-old student pilot is accused of jumping a fence and boarding a vacant jet today, causing a short lockdown at Orlando Melbourne International Airport. Investigators say the student drove to the curb outside the airport this morning, left the car running, hopped a fence, and then boarded the plane. A maintenance worker spotted him, and police took him into custody. Authorities say the man was born in Trinidad, and he entered the United States through Canada. He has a Florida's driver's license, and it's believed he attends or attended a flight school in the area. His motive is not yet known. Copa Airlines adding a new plane to its fleet for its route between Tampa and Panama. Starting today, the airline is flying the brand new Boeing 737 MAX 9 jet 7 times a week. Copa is the first airline in Latin America to order and operate the jet to deep South American and North American routes. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with a check of the day on Wall Street and a record-setting day, huh?
Scott, who'd have thunk it? A double record-setting day. The NASDAQ, which has been leading the market higher, did not set a record today, but a pretty good day nonetheless. Indeed, records everywhere. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at the highest level ever, breaking the record it set all the way back on the 26th of January, almost 8 months ago. The Standard & Poor's 500 index also closed at a record high, and ho-hum, it hit a record last time in late August. And as I just said, the NASDAQ, no record, but a very, very strong day. And let's remember, the NASDAQ really has been leading the market higher for a number of months. That being said, let's ring the bells and let's take a look at the numbers. They're pretty darn impressive. There you see a record close for the Dow, 26,656.98 a gain of more than 251 points, not quite 1%, on volume of 909 million shares. The NASDAQ, not a record, but how's up 1%, more than 78 points at 8,028.23. That on heavy volume of 2,237 million shares. And yes, indeed, a record for the S&P, 2930.75, up almost 23 points, not quite 0.8%. Darden Restaurants, know that name? Well, you may or may not, but I bet you know some things they own. How about the Olive Garden? Familiar with that one? Longhorn Steakhouse, Capitol Grill. Well, the company came out with better than expected earnings this morning, and within a matter of minutes, they were trading at a new 52-week high. But alas, as the day went along, even though it was a positive day on Wall Street, as they begin dissecting the same-store sales, and frankly, some of their units are not doing as well as others, on this record-setting day, these shares closed down by 1%. Scott's got to start eating some more of their breadsticks. I think that would help.
I guess, yeah. Their chicken parm, I love
There
that
you
too.
go.
Well, you got some news about some new products from Amazon.
New products today. They introduced 15 new products. The coolest one I saw was a microwave oven. You can use Alexa for $59.99. You can say, Alexa, please heat up my coffee for 35 seconds.
Wow.
What a country.
That's pretty cool. That's the future, and it's already in our homes.
Absolutely
isn't it?
right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Coming up, why a woman is facing possible charges after sheltering dozens of animals during Hurricane Florence. And we'll get back to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with our first alert forecast for the upcoming weekend. And then why low testosterone is no longer just for older men. Details coming up.
By Sunset Cadillac.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Stop in and save big on new Ram trucks during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years running. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999. Or save big and get up to $14,328 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
The Carolinas are trying to recover from Florence, which slammed the region last weekend. Now that the rain and winds have gone, many areas are coping with flooding. In Wayne County, North Carolina, the storm led to a dangerous situation for dozens of pets. A Good Samaritan stepped in to help, but she could now be in trouble with the law. Tammy Hedges runs an animal rescue and is in the process of converting it into a shelter. And with Florence approaching, she thought she'd help and give pets a dry place to stay. But on Monday, Animal Control found out and took all of those animals. And now the county's animal services manager says she could face charges because her rescue was not registered as a shelter.
The owners were just going to leave them in a flood zone on chains. So, we don't want that. We've been through Matthew.
Parts of North and South Carolina could continue to experience flooding through the weekend. More than a dozen rivers have already overflowed their banks, and river levels are still rising in some areas, even though it hasn't rained there in a few days.
Yeah.
But it's just all of those little tributaries and just still going into it.
It's still happening, and the news is it's hard to believe, but the Florence was picked up by a front. That front has now made its way into the Atlantic, and along that front there could be another tropical system developing. And guess what? Pushing back toward the United States, which would be unusual. I don't think it's going to happen, but it bears watching nonetheless. We're watching the nice calm conditions out there on the waters today, fairly quiet out there, and have been reports of some red tide, still the impacts anyway. The sea breeze not as prevalent today, had a little bit more easterly wind flow, which does allow for that red tide, at least the effects, to get pushed offshore. And some clouds. This is not Lakewood Ranch, obviously, unless it's moved. High pressure continuing to dominate the eastern seaboard. Now, over the Carolinas, that's really limited the shower activity there. That's good news. But the rain they had over the weekend that was hitting the mountains has washed down. And there's still a lot of the small streams and rivers feeding into the bigger rivers and causing those rivers to remain above flood stage and even not even cresting quite yet. But this high pressure ridge is bringing us this east wind. And that east wind is allowing us to see the convergence set up with showers and storms, especially in South Sarasota County and into central Charlotte County right now. That's where the biggest cells are. And we have another line behind that near Sebring, some showers pushing off there. This one in particular, now near Lakewood Ranch, stretching into the Meadows and down into Fruitville. And this is heading off to the southwest at around 10 miles an hour. This will generate some lightning strikes here in just a little bit. So folks down the road into downtown Sarasota, also possibly out near Bird Key as well as Lido, we could see that storm. This one really getting going now. Look at this intense line of storms. This is what's going to happen as you move up the coast. You're going to see that because that sea breeze kind of hung up right along the coastline there. And if we project this to the southwest, and it's moving to the west at around 10 miles an hour, Englewood, maybe a little bit before 6:57, but you're going to see some pretty heavy storms. If it holds on, I think it will too, as it makes its way off to the west because of that stronger east to northeasterly wind. We are going to warm up. Today's high temperatures were in the low to mid 90s. And here's the futurecast from one of the forecast models indicating that we will see some pretty big storms here through the evening hours, and then mostly fair after midnight. The commute in the morning should be okay. We're talking pretty calm conditions to start things off on Friday. Then notice these showers and storms will start to fire off and push off toward the west. Although this model doesn't show any convergence setting up, I do expect to see a little bit more activity than that particular forecast model is depicting for football Friday night. Saturday, similar conditions, so we're going to stay in this summer-like pattern. Well, here it is. There's that frontal boundary I mentioned. Look at this, a deep convection showing up right there. As I put the map into motion, you'll see the rotation, and right there near Bermuda, a little pretty good outflow on the north edge of that. And then we're starting to see some banding features. This is looking more and more like something's trying to pop there. And guess what? There's the National Hurricane Center suggestion where it's going to go over the upcoming 3 to 4 days. And there's the Carolinas right there. So the good news is this time of year we start to see more frontal boundaries come through. And it doesn't appear that it's going to be caught in any kind of a pattern where it's just going to stick around. Well, elsewhere in the tropics, we are watching several areas. In fact, GOES 16 right now showing a 50% chance of something developing here way out there in the Atlantic. And Bermuda, there's that heavy weather developing right there. 10% chance of this action developing just to the east of the Windward Islands, and a 10% chance in 5 days as well. So here's a look at the forecast, and we'll get to it right away and show you the boating forecast. Winds will be out of the east to northeast at 10 knots to start the morning off out of the east. and then 5 knots by the afternoon as that sea breeze tries to develop. The extended forecast calling for a good chance for scattered storms tomorrow afternoon, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, it doesn't look like fall, looks like summer. High temperatures in the low 90s each and every afternoon, just about. Scott?
Bob, thank you. Let's get to first alert traffic now. The eastbound lanes of State Road 70 in Manatee County closed from Greenbrook Boulevard to Lorraine Road. That's due to a crash at that Lorraine Road intersection. You can see the purple on the map, which means no traffic through that area right now. In health news tonight, puppies bring joy and delight, but unfortunately sometimes diseases as well. Zachary Quiche explains the health risk associated with pups.
Our furry friends may be bringing more than joy into our homes. The Center for Disease Control released a report today warning about a national outbreak you may have heard of. Campylobacter, a bug that causes diarrhea, affected 118 people across multiple states between 2016 and 2018. The culprit for spreading the infection, puppies from 6 different pet stores. The CDC also discovered that most of these puppies had been given antibiotics, important because the organism involved in the outbreak was multiple drug resistance, or in other words, immune to the common therapies we have to treat it. Although this news may come as a surprise, the CDC has some important reminders to help avoid future outbreaks. Always wash your hands and take extra care when picking up after puppies. Doing this will help you keep enjoying your pet's company instead of being sick like a dog. With this Medical Minute, I'm Zachary Quiche, ABC News.
Male menopause means that over time, men slowly begin to lose testosterone, and it's most common in older men. But now experts say it's hitting men at a younger age and can have some pretty devastating effects on their health. In a recent University of Michigan study, researchers found low T levels seem to put men at risk for 9 different chronic conditions, including type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Most doctors don't check levels in younger men, so experts recommend getting your levels tested so that you know what's normal for you. Coming up, dramatic video of a moment a fire NATO sucked up a firefighter's hose. And then how an Arizona patrol officer saved this little dog's life. Those stories coming up.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords, all on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Clogged pores are disgusting. Introducing Dermasuction, the easy way to suck that yuck out of your pores. Dermasuction removes blackheads and dirt from your pores. Just look at everything it extracts. The secret's the gentle vacuum action. Watch as Dermasuction extracts so much yuck, leaving your skin feeling clean and youthful.
The gunk that had been pulled out, I was pretty horrified, but better in the Dermasuction than on my face.
It's almost addictive because you can see all this stuff coming out of your skin that you don't even really know is there.
Call now to order order your Dermasuction for just $19.99. We'll also include our small and large body probes, the Sonic Microdermabrasion probe, and the handy travel case, all absolutely free. Order now and you can double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. You can get all this, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-213-9301. That's 1-800-213-9301. Or visit dermasuction.com. So call 1-800-213-9301 now.
We'll take a look at this, a weather phenomenon out of British Columbia, Canada. A firefighter said her crew was battling a wildfire last month when the towering flames and smoke got caught up in a whirlwind. A fire tornado was created. She said it rose more than 100 feet in the air, and as you can see, it even sucked up their hose. She said they played tug of war with it, but that hose ended up melting a bit. It also threw burning embers at them for about 45 minutes. An Arizona Sheriff's Office volunteer saves the life of a dog that was tied to the back of a big truck. A volunteer in protection was at a gas station when he saw the truck starting to leave with that dog leashed to the trailer's bumper. The dog was trying to keep pace with the truck as it headed toward the interstate highway. The patrol put on his flashers and siren and managed to stop the truck just in time. The driver says he was distracted and completely forgot to unleash the dog. The dog was unharmed and charges are not being considered right now. Alligator sightings, common in the South and here on the Gulf Coast, but a gator sighting in New Jersey recently raised some eyebrows, as the reptiles, as we know, generally aren't found that far north. Police believe the gator is about 3 to 4 feet long and was most likely a pet that got loose, or maybe someone released it in the wild. An Ohio teen is charged with a crime after mowing a swear word into the grass at a high school. The judge now offering the teen a creative punishment instead of going to jail. 19-year-old Cody Scott chose to cut the high school's grass with a push mower to keep him out of the slammer for 10 days. Also part of that sentence, Scott is also not allowed back onto the school's property, and he must also obtain a GED, maintain employment, and abide by the terms of a community control program. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how Puerto Ricans continue to rebuild and remember the lives lost 1 year after Hurricane Maria. Plus, the local CEO of the Puerto Rican Chamber of Commerce is here to talk about what the country still needs to recover from that storm.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
So why should your choices be ordinary? Ghibli, the absolute opposite of ordinary.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.